So here we are looking at the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 section of the FAFSA application, and now we are on the student financials. So we started our first 3 questions with the student, the college student answering questions about themselves, and then the student, answering parent information, and then parent financials. So we were more focused on parent. Now we're focusing back on the student. It's very important that as we move forward with the student financials, that the student filling out the FAFSA realizes this is their financials, not mom and dad's income, not mom and dad's savings, investments, or properties. This is what do you as a student, what is your financial information? So again, the first question, very similar to what we just did with the parents. As a student, in this tax year, the FAFSA, again, this FAFSA is asking for 2018. The next FAFSA will ask for 2019 tax return information. So back in 2018, you as a student, did you have a job? Did you have income? Did you file taxes or have to file taxes? So most students we encounter, they say they're not going to file. They don't have jobs, they don't have income. But you could be a student who's working part-time at a store down in the mall, or helping with a business somewhere, and maybe you're working part-time and making $1,000 a month or so, and it's like $12,000 a year. So you do get a W-2, you do kind of file taxes and get some help with that each year. So if you did that, pull out the tax return and kind of answer the questions, similar to what I did in the parent financials. If you want to watch the parent financial video, if you are a student who filed a tax return, kind of go off of what we did in that video. For this one, I'm going to do student financials as a student who generally, doesn't have a job, doesn't work, is coming to see us with no income. So for this student, I'm going to say not going to file. Again, because I didn't file the IRS data retrieval tool thing, the box did not pop up. I talked more about the data retrieval tool and how that works in the parent financial video. If you want to jump over to that, you can see, again, as a student, if you filed taxes and had income, you can use the retrieval tool to automatically bring in your income information. So maybe you didn't file taxes, maybe you babysit a little bit, or do some handyman stuff for the neighbors around the neighborhood, and you get a little bit of money here and there, or work for cash, or something, had a small slight job where you earned a little bit. So there's nothing wrong with saying maybe you earned a little bit of money here. You do have to be careful if you did have a job and you had a good amount of income. Maybe you had a part-time job and earned $15,000, and you should have filed taxes and you didn't. If you're selected for verification, that pops up. You would have to file taxes before we can complete your financial aid. We have to verify that. And sometimes when parents or students are selected for verification, again, this can happen with the FAFSA application. It's random. About 30% of all applications get selected for verification by the federal government. The financial aid office needs to verify information, and sometimes it's verifying tax return information. So if mom and dad did not file taxes and they're selected for verification and they didn't use the IRS data retrieval tool, then they would have to get a letter of non-filing from the IRS. If you as a student are an independent student or a dependent student on your section, if you're an independent student and did not have to provide parent information, and you say you did not file taxes and you're selected for verification, you also will have to get a letter of non-filing from the IRS. And it's basically, there's a form you can fill out, you send it to them, they send you a letter that says, we do not have any record of you filing taxes. It doesn't say you should have or shouldn't have, it's just kind of think it keeps people, the government's way of keeping people honest, where they say I didn't file taxes, but maybe they really did, so the letter of non-filing just kind of proves that. If you're a student, as in this case, where you're providing parent information, but you didn't work, and you're a dependent student for the FAFSA, if you are selected for verification and you say you didn't have income and didn't file, we can waive the letter of non-filing requirement so that you don't have to provide that. So in this case, there was a little bit earned by the student. And then ask questions, again, you as a student, not mom and dad, child support paid. As a student, are you paying child support to anybody? Probably not. Are you in some kind of work, programs? If you are, put in amounts of information. If not, you're leaving that 0. As a student, did you receive child support payments from a parent or something like that, or from some agency? Do you have, TANF food stamps, things like that you got some income or disability? Some students may have these things. The majority of them probably are putting zeros in here because that's more parent issues than student issues that are just entering college. So again, make sure you do, if you don't have any numbers to provide, that you are entering a zero. Do not leave these items blank, as it can cause an error on your application that you would have to fix later with the financial aid office. And again, that could delay financial aid payments. As of today, your total cash and savings in a checking account, maybe you're like, yeah, okay, I mean, I have maybe about $150 in my account today. I don't have any stocks, bonds, or real estate that I own, so I'm leaving that zero. As of today, what is the net worth of my current business or investment in farms? Again, I don't have any things. I'm just an 18-year-old kid filling out my FAFSA, so that is zero. And again, that's all there was to the student financials. So again, the majority of students who don't really have jobs or income coming in looking for financial aid, that can go pretty quick. If you did have jobs where you filed taxes or have investments, in those situations, it'd probably be good to watch the parent financial section as well, where I talk about, with a person who does file taxes, more information on providing information would be helpful. But otherwise, the student financials can be kind of short and sweet that way. And one step left once you get done with that is to sign and submit your FAFSA application, which we will cover in the next video.